The holiday lights were coming down all over the city. Most people had already stopped pretending to care. That's why no one else heard the boy say it. "Sir, my baby sister is freezing." Not crying, not screaming. Freezing. The words hit me like a shove. The infant in his arms didn't cry the way babies are supposed to. Her mouth opened, but the sound that came out was thin and exhausted, like she'd already spent every ounce of fight she had. I wasn't even supposed to be outside. I was just taking a shortcut through Henderson Park. The January cold wasn't just winter, it was the kind that kills. The boy looked about 8, jacket too small, zipper broken. Snow clung to his hair. He was trying to hold the baby and keep her covered with his own body at the same time, like a shield made of bones and stubbornness. "Where are your parents?" I asked, already pulling off my coat. His eyes darted away. "Mom's working." The kind of lie kids tell when the truth is too big to hold. I wrapped my coat around both of them. The boy's breath caught as warmth hit his skin. "What's your name?" He hesitated. "Timothy. Tim. And your sister?" "Sarah." The baby stirred, weak movement that made relief slam into my chest, but her lips were blue, breathing too shallow. "Tim, we're going somewhere warm. Right now." I scooped Sarah into my arms. She was frighteningly cold. My heart pounded as I calculated distances. Hospital, 10 blocks. My apartment, 6. We moved quickly. Tim walked beside me, one hand clutching my sleeve. "How long were you out here?" "I don't know. A long time. Mom said she'd be right back. But then it got dark, and she didn't come back." That's when I noticed how Tim kept glancing over his shoulder. A dark vehicle parked across the street. Engine running. Headlights off. Waiting. "Tim, is someone looking for you?" No, the lie again. Bigger this time. At my building, I called for my doctor and the police. In my apartment, I laid Sarah on the couch, rubbing her tiny hands, talking softly. "Come on, little one. Stay with me." Dr. Richardson arrived within 15 minutes. "The baby has moderate hypothermia, but she's responding. She'll recover. Another hour in that cold." He didn't finish. An ambulance came. Detective Rodriguez took statements. Tim's story came out in pieces. A man approached his mother, official-looking papers, promises of help. The man picked them up, drove them to the park, told Tim to wait on the bench. He said it would make people feel sorry for us, that someone kind would stop. Then we'd go to our new family. My blood ran cold. At the hospital, Tim asked, "What's going to happen to us?" "I'll make sure you and Sarah stay together. Whatever it takes." If stories like this mattered to you, you might want to stay with this channel. Hours later, the emergency room doors burst open. A woman stumbled through, late 20s, disheveled, hospital band on her wrist, terror in her eyes. When she saw Tim, she dropped to her knees, gathering him into her arms, sobbing. "Tim, oh my God, Tim. Mama, I tried to keep her warm." Diane Mercer told her story. Single mother, 8 months sober, working 2 jobs. A man approached her at the hospital. Family First Support Services. Free childcare assistance. She signed papers. Temporary authorization. He'd pick up the kids, take them to daycare. She'd get them after work. But there was no daycare. The address didn't exist. The number was disconnected. "Someone was going to sell my babies," she whispered. And I signed the papers that let them do it. Child services arrived. The children needed temporary placement while Diane recovered. "I'll take them," I said. Everyone stared. "Temporarily. I have space. They're comfortable with me." 4 hours of calls and background checks later, I drove home with 2 sleeping children in my car. 24 hours ago, my biggest concern was a quarterly report. Now, I had 2 traumatized kids and a predator still out there. Detective Rodriguez called. "The company is registered to Northbridge Group. Ring any bells?" My hands tightened on the wheel. Northbridge. I hadn't heard that name in 15 years. Not since my business partner Vincent Ashford vanished with half our startup capital. 3 days later, my apartment looked completely different. Toys everywhere, baby bottles. A nanny I'd hired, Mrs. Williams, helping me figure out parenthood. Tim had nightmares. At 2 in the morning, I found him whimpering. I keep dreaming we're back in the park, and nobody stops. We sat in my kitchen, drinking hot chocolate. Can I ask you something? Why was I supposed to wait in the park? What did Mr. A say? He said people don't help unless they feel really bad for you, that we needed to look like we might die. Someone had deliberately endangered these children to make them sympathetic. Premium placement, Tim had heard the man say on the phone. Like they were products. I met Rodriguez at a coffee shop. She slid me a folder. Family First Support Services. It's a shell, owned by Northbridge Group. I told her about Vincent, my partner, his embezzlement, his disappearance 15 years ago. He's doing this in my city, using my hospital network. This is personal. My assistant called. You have a package. No return address. Inside, a photo of my daughter Emma at her school in California. Taken yesterday. Below it, a note. You took something that didn't belong to you. I could do the same. Back off, Gabriel. I hired security for Emma immediately. Then I called Gideon Pierce, an investigator I'd worked with years ago. Within 2 days, he had a file. Vincent hadn't disappeared. He'd rebuilt. 3 shell companies, 8 children taken in 6 months, 5 still missing. Wealthy couples paying $50,000 to $100,000 per placement. Everything fell apart at once. Diane's housing rejected. Tim's panic attack at school. Sarah readmitted with pneumonia. Permanent lung damage from hypothermia. Another child went missing. I sat in Sarah's hospital room watching her struggle to breathe. Tim appeared at the door. Why are you doing this? We're not your kids. I told him the truth. When I was 7, my mom left me at a fire station, said she'd be back. Child services came instead. I spent 11 years in foster homes. None of them kept me. Tim's eyes widened. When I aged out at 18, I had $200 and no plan. So when I see a kid trying to save his sister, I help, because nobody helped me. Tim was quiet. Then, you're not alone anymore. We're here. Rodriguez called with news. Another mother remembered something. The man mentioned a matching event this weekend. We found it. Northbridge Children's Foundation Gala. Saturday night. Black tie charity event. The founder, Vincent Ashford, using a different first name now. He's hiding in plain sight, Rodriguez said. I'm going to that gala. I still don't know if what I did was right. When someone threatens a child, any child, do you back down to protect your own? Or do you fight because backing down means more children suffer? Would you have walked away? The Riverside Hotel ballroom was elegant. Crystal chandeliers, string quartet, banners, Northbridge Children's Foundation, building families, changing lives. Photo displays showed smiling children with adoptive parents. How many were stolen? Then I saw him, Vincent Ashford, on stage. 55 now, distinguished, charming. Every child deserves a loving home. Every family deserves the chance to grow. Genuine applause. I felt sick. When he moved to the bar, I approached. Hello, Vincent. He froze, turned, shock, then careful neutrality. Gabriel Sterling. After all these years. 15 to be exact. We moved to a private terrace. The philanthropist mask slipped. You always were self-righteous, Gabriel. You stole from our investors, from me. And you destroyed my reputation, my career. I lost everything while you became successful, respected, rich. His voice cracked. Those mothers, addicts, failures, their children deserve better. I'm giving them real chances. By leaving a baby to freeze in a park? Calculated risk. And it worked. You stopped. Vincent's smile returned. I built this from nothing, placed dozens of children with families who paid well, families who failed background checks. Everyone deserves a second chance. He stepped closer. You should walk away. Let me continue my work. Or accidents happen, even to teenage girls in California. From inside, voices raised. Movement. The terrace doors burst open. FBI agents poured through. Vincent Ashford, you're under arrest for child trafficking. His face went white. You have no evidence. We have your confession, Rodriguez said. Mr. Sterling wore a wire. Vincent's eyes snapped to me, furious. This won't stick. The children are in the system. Good luck finding which families have them. Could take years. Even caught, he was trying to hurt me. I thought catching him would feel like victory. It just felt hollow, because the children were still lost. Revenge doesn't heal anything. It just shows you how much is still broken. This channel exists for people who understand that doing the right thing doesn't always feel right. 3 children were recovered within a week, but my temporary guardianship was under review. How long would I keep Tim and Sarah? When would their mother be ready? Diane was trying, apartment, job, therapy, but the system had requirements she kept failing to meet. I can't do this, she told me one afternoon. I've been sober 13 months. I'm working. And it's still not enough. Tim looked up from his toys. Kids always know. Mom, want to see my science project? Her face transformed. Of course, baby. After she left, Tim asked, Is Mom going to take us back? That's the plan once she's ready. What if she's never ready? That night, Emma called from California. Are you going to adopt them? They have a mother. A mother who can't take care of them. I remember the uncertainty when you and Mom divorced. It's awful. These kids need permanence. Diane texted, Can we meet tomorrow? I need to talk about something important. The next morning, she looked like she hadn't slept. I've been talking to my therapist about what my kids need versus what I want to give them. Her voice broke. Being a good mother means making sure they're safe, even if that means stepping aside. I want you to adopt them. Diane, I've been sober 13 months. That's nothing. What happens when the cravings get bad again? They deserve certainty. Tears spilled. I love them more than anything. That's why I'm doing this. 2 weeks later, family court. Judge Morrison reviewed Diane's petition for termination of parental rights. Ms. Mercer, you understand this is permanent. Yes, Your Honor, it's what they need. Mr. Sterling, you understand the lifelong commitment. I thought about 6 months of sleepless nights, emergencies, homework, tiny victories. Yes, I'm prepared. The evidence is clear. These children are thriving in Mr. Sterling's care. It's also clear Ms. Mercer loves them, that this decision is not made selfishly. The gavel came down. Timothy and Sarah Mercer will become Timothy and Sarah Sterling. In the hallway, Diane knelt before Tim. Sarah played with my tie. You understand what happened? He nodded, crying. You're not our mom anymore. Legally. Legally. But I'll always be the person who brought you into this world, who loved you first. She threw her arms around him. You saved your sister's life. Stay brave. She took Sarah from my arms, one last time, breathing in her baby smell. Promise me something. Tell them I love them. Every day. Tell them I tried, that I just wasn't strong enough, but that doesn't mean they weren't worth everything. I promise. She handed Sarah back, walked away quickly. Tim stood beside me, watching her go. So you're our dad now? If you want me to be. He took my hand. Okay. 2 years later, December wind cut through the city. But I wasn't alone. Tim was 10 now. Sarah was 2.5, chattering nonstop. Emma was home from California, pushing Sarah's stroller while Tim ran ahead. We walked through Henderson Park, not avoiding it anymore. This is where you found us, right? Yeah, right there. Sarah pointed at holiday lights. Pretty. My phone buzzed. Diane. Merry Christmas. Tell the kids I love them. She was 18 months sober now, stable apartment, better job. She visited twice a month. It was awkward sometimes, painful sometimes, but she showed up. Dad, can we get hot chocolate? Tim asked. Dad. He'd started calling me that a year ago. At the coffee shop, Emma helped Sarah while Tim explained Mars colonization. I listened, amazed at how smart this kid was. You know what's weird? If that guy hadn't put us in the park, we never would have met you. Silver lining, Emma said. More like finding light in the dark, I said. Later, after everyone was asleep, I stood in my living room, no longer empty, but cluttered with toys and books and life, and thought about that January night. I'd been alone, miserable, successful on paper, hollow inside. Now I had 3 kids, a purpose, a family that hadn't existed until a little boy asked a stranger for help. They asked if I saved Tim and Sarah that night, but the truth is simpler. I just didn't walk away. I couldn't. Because somewhere in that frozen park, I saw myself, every version of me that needed someone to stop, to look, to stay. Tired people still look. Most people just don't. But the ones who do? They're the small lights in the dark, the embers that refuse to go out. This channel exists for people who believe small moments can change everything, for people who understand that one stranger's choice can rewrite a family's entire story. Welcome to Emberlight Stories. Sarah appeared in the hallway, dragging her blanket. Bad dream? She nodded, reaching for me. I picked her up and she wrapped her arms around my neck, already falling back asleep, completely trusting, completely safe. Tim's door opened. She okay? Yeah, just needed a hug. He nodded and went back to bed. And I stood there, holding my daughter, in the home we'd built from nothing. Not because of money or power or plans, but because 2 years ago a little boy said 5 words I couldn't ignore. Sir, my baby sister is freezing. And I stopped walking.